What happens is Daryl and Eugene are on top of a dumpster. We've seen this before, but this time they both die.
So I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Bisquick challenge, which is going really well.
Probably 1,500 boxes of Bisquick going to local food banks. So thank you, Dallas.
That's amazing. When you filmed that, did you have any idea that it would turn into such a thing?
Yes, I said to Josh,
You're like,
I
let's put this
said,
in.
dude, this is going to be huge in Dallas.
Everything's
Bisquick
new.
thing is funny, but we're going to do a food drive in Dallas about a year from now. It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, maybe we should do something with sorghum. But then
It didn't work out so good.
nobody brought any sorghum. So that's on you. Entire communities will now not eat because we're not planting crops. Thanks, guys. Let me say this, the Bisquick thing, one of the most disgusting lines in the show has turned into something awesome, and that's because of you guys. You guys are amazing, so give yourselves a hand. That's great.
My favorite moment was yesterday morning when the dad brought his 9 or 10-year-old son up and said, because of you, I had to explain what Bisquick and pancakes were. I just told him to enjoy his breakfast.
You're welcome.
You just changed now for the future. The birds and the bees are no longer the birds and the bees. It's the Bisquick and the pancakes.
There you go. Good with that.
And you guys have so many great one-liners.
Yeah.
We're just ruining shit for everybody. Flowers, cookies, Bisquick, pudding.
It's a show about death.
It's a show about food where people die. Let's be honest.
People are the food, so
Dolphins,
there you go.
like Heather pointed out.
Dolphins.
Right. So many great one-liners, and that was one of the more comical. Josh, I think one of the best one-liners you've had is "No one gets the clock out today," and that was very iconic. So what was it like to deliver that line and actually, have Eugene take a stand?
That was something that, honestly, since I took the job back in season 4, I wanted, I was waiting for that moment for Eugene to, essentially complete the transition internally. He still had to go out and fight, which is a whole nother thing, but, he had to convince himself. And that's, we've had some markers along the way. He certainly stepped up at times when he saved Tara out of the warehouse, but he was kind of forced to at that point. So what was great with this moment is Rosita says, look, Eugene, you don't have to help. And he said, no, yes, I do. It was that moment where he made that decision, and it was really awesome. And we filmed that scene, and it was like, we did one take where usually when you shoot something and you have your favorite take, they don't use that. They use a different take normally than the one that you love. And I remember thinking, oh, this is my favorite take after we did it. And then there was a problem with the camera. And they said, we're going to have to reshoot it and do it again. And I was mad because we lost that take. And so we did it again, and I never felt great about it like I did with that first one. And then it turns out there was really no problem with the camera when they edited it, because you don't know when you're developing film, what's working, what's not. And so they were able to use the take that I love the most. And so it was kind of fulfilling on many levels.
Great job. It was awesome to see.
And so how do you think...
Thanks, man. I'll tell it again if you want. At my booth.
Sometimes they say there's a problem with the camera, and there really isn't a problem.
Camera's my nickname. It's a problem with me.
So has Eugene turned a corner now? In the last episode, we haven't seen it
Yeah,
yet.
he turned a corner and started beating up some zombies.
And now, are you going to start patrolling with Eugene, as we heard you want to do? Is that going to happen?
I think Eugene should definitely start patrolling with Eugene.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Abraham!
We're not going to give you an inch here.
I totally watched the show.
I think, Eugene's definitely helping out more. He's stepping up. We saw in
I'm sorry, we gotta discuss a spoiler before we say something.
Not ruining anything.
Rutabaga.
Yeah, so when, sorry. Again, we were talking about Daryl's death. Daryl and Eugene go on a patrol, they end up on top of a dumpster. No, yeah. No, but he certainly, we found out when Sasha said to Abraham, Eugene wants to help out more, he's going to take over my patrol. So, even though we may not necessarily see it, we know that that's going on.
Well, the two of you have not really, we haven't really seen you kind of come back together as friends on screen since the whole, I'm not a scientist. So, how's the relationship now as a couple?
It's complicated.
Well, I hope to see that play out.
Well, we did the apology at the end of season 5.
Apology.
It was a non-apology.
You've both been doing separate things within Alexandria since then.
I think we both need our space.
Need your space.
Eugene and Abraham are,
Complicated.
it's complicated. I don't think he wants to kill Eugene anymore, but he's probably not like, oh, let me go hang out with Eugene. And Eugene probably feels the same way about Abraham.
Stay tuned.
Now, Rosita being the glue, I think, between these two gentlemen, she's the one that dropped the pan to cause the apology in the hospital scene. Your characters, well, Eugene doesn't know, but there's a little apprehension now, and Abraham's feeling it with, Rosita and the possible Sasha connection there. Do you think if that goes down, do you think it'll break up the entire trio? Or Rosita have to pick a side?
Will Eugene be there to pick up the pieces?
Pieces of what?
Rosita's broken heart.
What? It's like everyone's like there's a love triangle. I keep telling them that Abraham loves geometry.
It's hilarious.
Well, on that note, let's go to the crowd. Hi there. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hi, my name is Simone, and I'm from Hugo, Oklahoma. And
Oklahoma! Everyone in Texas is like, shut up.
As you pointed out, these two, in my opinion, have pretty much the best one-liners of the whole series. Am I not? Right?
Yes.
I wanted to know if you guys had a favorite line of each other's.
That's actually a great question that we haven't been asked yet. So it's going to take a minute to think of something. I think my favorite line is like a two-part line for him. It was when he said, "Who's Deanna?" That and just reading that on paper, because like you read Dolphin Smooth on script, you're like, that's hilarious, like that's gonna be funny. But like to listen to him deliver the line, "Who's Deanna?" in a way that none of us expected, and it wasn't
On
like
paper, it's just a normal
on paper it's just
line.
"Who's Deanna," but like
Yeah.
I think the way that we shot that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like there was a lot of us, and he was kind of standing towards the back, and so he had to kind of speak up a little bit to say his like, "Who's Deanna?" It just made us laugh so hard. And so that was my favorite line, because then when the name Negan was introduced, and he said, "Who's Negan?" That was my second favorite part. Just, "Who's Negan?" Like that's his thing. Who are these people?
One of my questions is going to be, who else are you going to ask who they are?
Who's Jesus?
Who's Jesus? Along those lines, so you think the Who's Negan was a direct result of the popularity of Who's Deanna? So did the...
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a story behind that y'all will learn someday.
Today.
But no. Yeah, it was directly connected to the response.
Your favorite line of Eugene's?
Mine's gonna sound like a cop-out, because I love the nobody gets the clock out today, but his favorite line is actually, for me, you've yet to hear it. So it's coming.
Yay. Thank you.
Hi there, what's your name? Where are you from?
Sybil and my daughter, Suzanne, from the Houston area.
Hi.
Houston area? Where?
It's called Pearland.
Prairie Land?
Pearland.
Pearland?
Yeah. The show is so well done, and the characters seem so real. Besides the great acting, what makes it so is that the directors, the writers, the technical staff.
Yeah. I think we're kind of about 40 minutes south of Atlanta, and we are this little microcosm out there, and the crew and the writers and directors, the cast, where most of us don't live in that area, so we are all we have when we're down there. So when we're down there working, the focus is very specific on the show, and everybody's there for the same reason. We have people on our show that typically work on features who come back every year in the crew to work on our show on television because they love working on the show so much. And it's for as much as we say, oh my gosh, the conditions are brutal out there, and it's hot, and this and that, and the bugs and the humidity. These guys and gals are out there for the entire day, every day, working on the crew. So they have it much harder than we do so far as the conditions. But everybody is down there to do one thing, and that's make the show the best show it can be for you guys. And that's the deal.
And the second thing you're down for is to cater to my every whim. Wait, he has both of his legs. That's the special thing about The Walking Dead. When an actor dies, or when a character dies, they actually kill the actor too. And they so when they had to cut off his leg. He's a lizard in a group act. What am I talking about?
Do you ever wish that for just one season you guys filmed during the winter in Georgia and not the summer in Georgia?
No, the weather's shittier.
Really hot.
Every day.
Oh.
I know I'm pissing people off. I apologize for the potty mouth, but trust me, I've toned it way back. You're just gonna have to trust me on this one.
All right, howdy. What's your name? Where are you from?
I think her name's Beth.
Hi. Go.
I'm Bridget Speck from Salina, Texas.
Yeah.
And this question's for Michael. So I was wondering what your thought was over the fight scene in Hilltop, and specifically over the choking scene.
The little dude who almost killed me? I don't really want to talk about that. That never would happen.
Yeah, Abraham got whooped
By a little dude.
by a small man.
Yeah, you're right.
All of a sudden, it gave Eugene hope. I can take him.
Yeah, they cast a small guy in that role. And I still had to get choked. Next question.
Thank you.
We don't make those decisions, they do. So,
The small people. Hello, little one.
Hello, my name is Vicki. I'm from Plano, Texas.
Hi. I like that everybody's introducing where they're from.
My question is regarding Abraham and Sasha. So I'm a little unclear. Did she actually kick him to the curb? Is it over before it even gets started? Or did they do the best quick?
Or is she just waiting for you to clear things up with Rosita?
I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. I think she just took a new job. Or looking at me like, what?
Josh, over here.
I was looking at Father Gabriel right there. Seth Gilliam. TV's Seth Gilliam. On The Wire.
Teen Wolf.
Oz.
Who also got brain the same time that Eugene did.
Cervical.
Good job.
He was also in a movie about, what is it, Thomas Jefferson when he lived in Paris? Jefferson in Paris.
IMDb, everyone. And
Is that a good movie? It's a brilliant movie? Did It didn't make much money at the box office, so I didn't know. Say that it's like one of the, like if it doesn't make money, it's not good. But, okay, anyway, sorry.
Josh?
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what happens with Sasha and Abraham.
Thank you.
Stay tuned.
Hi,
State your name, where you're from.
Hi, my name is Cindy. I'm from Houston, and I was wondering, what is the hardest scene, physically or emotionally, for you guys to shoot?
Like what type of scene or what scene was it?
For me, it was actually season 5. Well, yeah, there's some more stuff coming up, but stuff that you've seen, season 5, episode 5, the flashback stuff. But I love doing that too. That was awesome. 'Cause for me, that was like the moment when the audience gets to learn about Abraham's backstory and why he's such a douche.
I would agree. His flashback stuff is what. No, but season 5, episode 5 was a great episode for us to shoot. It was kind of our first full bottle episode where it was just about us, and we had a great time shooting it. And as difficult and challenging as it was, physically and emotionally, it was also very rewarding. And that's something that we hold that episode very close to our hearts. We loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. With Tara and yours relationship, the last year and a half, the show's been following not exactly, but very closely, a lot of the comic stories, and Tara is not in the comics. So I'm wondering, you may not know, but did they always plan to have that kind of chemistry and connection between Eugene friendship and Tara, or did that kind of grow from you two as actors relationship, and then they wrote it that way?
They very much plan this stuff out. They don't, because if you go back, and a lot of people do go back and watch old episodes, they see little seeds have been planted, and then they grow, episodes in a season or 2 later. They certainly plan that stuff out. I doubt they saw any chemistry between Alana and I and went, "Oh, we should nurture this."
Friendship chemistry,
Yeah, but it's but that's kind of the cool thing about what the writers have given us. They actually give us a nice platform to be able to play that and that sort of thing. So they certainly write all this stuff and plant those seeds early on. That's not to say that they don't ever spot something and kind of push it in that direction, but I think that's very rare.
I think the two of you play very well together.
Oh, thank you
I like
very
that
much.
relationship.
Yeah, she's a really gifted actress and very giving, and she's a lot of fun to do a scene with because what you want to do as an actor when you're shooting a scene, you want to give the editor as many choices as you can give, and she is doing that, certainly for me, which then allows me to be affected by what she's saying and to play my different choices as well. She makes me a better actor. She's really good.